everybody, welcome back to another episode of Talking Toku, Boston and Bellingham's only podcast about Godzilla, Gamera, Ultraman, and all their kaiju friends. I am your host, David Scrivani.
I'm your co-host, Brian Kershaw.
And we're going for we're kind of spitballing on this episode here today, folks. We were admittedly a little lost on what to talk about. we're being honest.
Yeah, we decided we're going to be conversationalists today.
Yeah, because I think it better that we kind of mix things up in terms of topics. Like we don't want to, we started the show doing a lot of reviews, and they didn't get old per se, but it felt repetitive. So I want to kind of. With Brian's great suggestion of making this Google Doc to keep us on track for things, I want to kind of have a quote-unquote schedule of how we do things. So preferably like a review and then something more discussion-oriented, switching back and forth. And maybe with some surprises thrown in there, who knows? But yeah, so today we're going to be talking about the future of kaiju media in the West, because as it stands, we're not really sure what's going on there, if anything, and that's what we're here to talk about today. But we got things to talk about before that. We got news.
We got news.
We got all kinds of news.
And Dave wants to sell you something?
Yeah, we want to sell you something, Brian. We both
you
do.
told me that I want to sell the audience something, which means that you're trying to coerce me into selling.
Yes.
Stuff.
Well, you should be absolutely on board when I talk about it. But you want to go first, Brian?
Sure.
For news.
First in the news, we've gotten a first look at next year's new Kamen Rider series, Kamen Rider Black Sun. And honestly, I think it might be time to start watching Kamen Rider, because this first look, which is literally just a picture of the suit, looks absolutely incredible. I mean, if we're going to be watching Shin Kamen Rider, best start pretty soon, yeah? You should really link these images in here, because I need to look it up now.
I really should. You know what? Let me do that right now for you. I don't know why I didn't think to do that.
Damn, that does look pretty fucking sick.
Oh, you found it? Okay, cool, because I didn't.
That looks pretty sick.
It's the black and white picture, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. And again, I've never seen I've never watched anything Kamen Rider, but that is one heck of a suit right there.
Yeah, it is.
So
wow.
It really might be time to start watching Kamen Rider. So. And then we could do an episode on that, because honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. I think we're a little too focused on Godzilla and stuff like that. I want to keep, we're talking Toku. We got to talk more other Toku stuff. You know what I mean?
I agree with you.
So we'll have to figure that out at some point. Not right now, though. Next up in the news, Anime Limited announced last week that they have officially released the OST for Godzilla Singular Point on digital storefronts and streaming services in North America, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. And when we say released, past tense, we mean that it is available right now. In addition, they will also be bringing the OST to vinyl in the United Kingdom, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand. I'm a little annoyed that it's not going to be released in North America, considering I already have all 15 Showa films, The Return of Godzilla, and very soon Godzilla vs. Destroya. But, that's what import prices and or proxy services are for. And the fact that it's going to be in the UK gives me hope that I'll still be able to get it rather easily. No release date for the vinyl yet, aside from next year, but rest assured, we'll update you as soon as we know, because
I've been listening to the OST on Spotify.
So have I. I'm so glad it's available, because it's a damn good soundtrack.
It's been very obnoxious listening to the very low quality rips on YouTube.
They're not that low quality, because those rips were ripped from the Japanese soundtrack that got released.
Some of them some of them, like before, I think before the official release, were pretty low quality. Because some
Fair
of them
enough.
had just have ripped sound bites out of the show.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'll get the next story.
Go for it.
In celebration of Gamera, the Giant Monster's 56th anniversary last week. God damn, he's old.
Old man.
The Gamera, the Great Fanzine.
Fanzine.
What?
Yep, fanzine.
Fanzine is officially up for pre-order. If Daiei, does he say Daiei?
Daiei and Katakawa.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Refuse to do anything with Gamera. The fans have taken it upon themselves to celebrate it in their own way by releasing an incredible fanzine featuring artists like Ray Fromm.
I'll take care of this, Ryan.
You
seem to be bad with names.
I am really bad with names. This should be no surprise to anyone who's been listening to this show.
It is really not.
I'm bad with white people names too. Okay.
Clearly. Artists like Ray Frummy, Kaiju Hime, Lisa Nafziger, and Nellie Bly Workman, to name a few.
There you go. We'll put a link to the pre-order in the description for anyone interested. I highly recommend to any fans of the friend to children to pick this up because the world needs more Gamera love. You're damn right. Nothing new for Gamera has even been hinted. So
yeah, we haven't had a Gamera film since 2006.
Very
So,
sad. Very sad.
I mean, Gamera the Brave is a wonderful, wonderful film, and I know you have not watched it yet. I mean, I hadn't watched it until I got the Gamera Arrow set last year, and I was floored by how much I enjoyed it. It's a very, very charming movie, and we should definitely do an episode on it at some point. But
Yes.
yeah, I've seen some of the artwork from Gamera the Great. It looks real cool, and like I said, it's got a bunch of real cool artists that some of which I know, some of which I'm unfamiliar with, but
And all of which I don't know how to pronounce.
yeah, we'll have to work on that, Brian. I'll teach you the ways of
Send me
saying
back
people's
to
names.
English class.
Yeah, high school English class.
Oh God.
Moving on, Rumble, Paramount Pictures' upcoming animated kaiju / professional wrestling film, has finally been given a release date of December 15th. We haven't had a trailer since last year in front of Sonic the Hedgehog, and absolutely no word since. So we get one final trailer before the movie releases, and it's also now a Paramount Plus exclusive. That really doesn't bode well for this film to do well, because I was actually kind of excited for it. It looked kind of neat and fun, and I mean, Will Arnett is the main character, I believe, the main kaiju man. Let me double check on that. I mean, he is.
Yeah,
He's got a very recognizable voice, so I shouldn't even had to question that. But yeah, it looks really fun, and I was excited to see something a little more kid friendly in terms of kaiju stuff. But I don't have a Paramount Plus subscription, and I don't plan on getting a Paramount Plus subscription anytime soon. So I guess I won't be watching it.
I'm sure there's a free trial, Dave.
I don't know, because I wanted to watch Halloween Kills when it was out, and that was on Peacock, but they don't do free trials for Peacock.
Well, that's because Peacock is doing really poorly.
That's fair.
Like really bad.
Oh.
I think it is surpassed. I think it is lower than HBO Max was at its lowest.
Oh, and that's bad because HBO Max struggled quite a lot when they first launched.
Well, look at it this way. I mean, the only thing that Peacock really has to offer that anyone cares about is The Office.
That is true.
And most people who binge watch The Office either have a VPN to which they can just go to Canadian Netflix, or they own it.
That is a very good point, yes.
You go to any store that sells movies or TV shows, and they have box sets of The Office.
They do.
People buy them. Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter
Also,
because Halloween
also
Kills
like
apparently sucked, so I don't think I was missing much.
what? There's an extended cut coming out. David's gonna fix all the
Oh,
problems. I
is it
guarantee
now? I'm sure it will.
it. Yeah, it's
I
coming.
forgot there was an extended cut. Oh well.
For some reason, for whoever wants to watch it again for
Yeah.
longer. I still haven't seen it.
Neither have
I've just
I.
I've just heard about it.
Brian, I don't
Like,
know. I can't remember when you're coming back up here. But if you have free time, we should get drunk and watch it.
I'm gonna be back on Christmas Eve at midnight,
That's okay.
and I will be leaving at 7 a.m. on the 30th. So any
All right,
day.
we have a little bit of time. We'll see what we can do.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'll get the next
Yes, do it.
one.
Please.
It's been a while since we've gotten any Mill Creek Entertainment Ultraman news, right? Well, here's some for you. I hate how you write this, Dave.
Shut up, Brian.
Oddly enough, though, it's not an actual series. Ultraman Zero: The Chronicle, the complete series, will be released on Blu-ray February 1st. The Chronicle series tend to be nothing more than recaps of other shows in the franchise. So why Mill Creek is deciding to release a recap of a show that I assume they've already released is a bit of a confusing decision. That's weird.
Yeah, like I had no idea what the Chronicle shows were until I started watching the most recent one, and it literally just ended up being Ultraman Zero in front of a very obvious green screen, just recounting the events of Ultraman Tiga and the then literally just wrapped the week before Ultraman Z. So I really don't know why they're releasing a recap show on Blu-ray. It doesn't
This
make
would
sense to
be
me.
this would be if like G Kids released a Evangelion Death True Squared like as a standalone.
I
Even
bet
though they just released the whole show.
that movie kind of has its own merits. They're not.
But it also kind of sucks.
It does, but still.
So,
Whatever.
but like, it would be kind of bizarre. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
As a standalone, come on.
Yeah, as a standalone, it doesn't make much sense. It's better to have it in the set, but
I don't really understand, like, I don't really understand like entire episodes or movies that are just recaps of something else. I don't understand it.
I don't know either.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Who
Whatever.
knows?
That's a Brian not so hot take.
I don't know. That might be the first Ultraman Mill Creek release I skip. I think, unless they say, "Hey, it's this is what it is," and it's something completely different that is not what I think it is. But I don't see that being the case. Oh well. All right, more in Kamen Rider news. Maito Fujioka, the son of original Kamen Rider actor Hiroshi Fujioka, will portray Takeshi Hongo, his father's character, in the upcoming film Kamen Rider Beyond Generations. The film will cross over the original series, as well as the more recent Kamen Rider Saber and Kamen Rider Revice. Once again, neither of us know enough about Kamen Rider to comment more on this, but the more I hear about it, the more interested I am. And, I mean, that's really cool that his son is playing his dad's character in the movie. I think that's a and it seems like they're really, both of them are really excited to do it because like Hiroshi Fujioka is like he still loves like the fact that he was Kamen Rider. He's very much like Akira Takarada in that way.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. And you know what, Brian?
I mean, definitely want to check this. Definitely want to check Kamen Rider out.
Yeah,
the more we talk about it, the more I'm interested.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's on Tubi, so maybe soon.
Tubi.
Yeah.
I gotta bookmark that somewhere.
You really do. All that Ultraman stuff you're missing out on.
I know. Oh, actually, that was funny you say that. So this is just a little bit of a story.
Okay.
It's not very interesting,
All
but
right.
it is something cool. So, I for anyone on here who doesn't know, my girlfriend lives in British Columbia, and so I go up there to visit her sometimes. So I went up. It was the first week I saw her since like lockdown started. And so we were walking around Metro, I think it's called Metro Town, which is like this mall. It's really cool. And they have like a kind of like a Newberry Comics type store in there. I don't remember what it's called, but I was just kind of like perusing through the movies, and they had box sets of like every single Ultraman show.
Really?
Yeah, every single one. I was
Was
like, I recognize all that.
was it the
I
Mill
don't.
Creek stuff or
I don't. I did not. I actually didn't
it was
look at
probably the Mill
the
Creek stuff.
probably, but I didn't look at the distributor for
Mm.
it. But it was like every single one, and I was like, God
You
damn!
should have bought it,
They were all
Brian.
they were all like $50 Canadian.
Didn't
So
you say you were gonna buy Ultra Q? How's that going?
uh, pretty good actually.
Did you buy Ultra Q?
Maybe.
I don't believe you, Brian.
Listen, listen. I pay for rent. Okay, leave me alone.
Okay.
It's gonna happen very soon.
Brian, that's what you
Very
said
soon.
for like 3 years
Within-
after I told you to
within-
watch it in the first place.
Within the next 13 months, I
Okay.
will.
Okay.
I'll trick you. Okay. Anyways, that was my short story.
Okay.
There you go. If you find yourself in Metro Town, the mall in British Columbia, go look at. I don't remember what the name of the store was, but it's like, yeah,
Was it
You'll find
FYE
it.
maybe?
have fun. No,
Oh, okay.
I think it was like Sunrise something.
I don't know. Also,
don't
I
remember.
gotta say, when you were trying to think of the town and you were saying Metro, all I could think of was Metroville from The Incredibles.
Of course.
I'll take this next one too. This is the sales pitch.
Okay.
So this is our biggest news story this week. I put in the notes, but also not really news. But now it actually is news because initially the announcement was that, hey, this Kickstarter is coming soon. But in the 4 days between when I wrote this up and this podcast being recorded, the Kickstarter went live. So,
Wow. What luck.
I know, right? Howl from Beyond the Fog director Daisuke Sato has officially launched a second Kickstarter campaign for Keizo Murase's passion project, Brush of the God. Last year's campaign failed pretty miserably for a project from the sculptor who made suits for films such as King Kong vs. Godzilla, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, Return of Daimajin, Gamera vs. Gyaos, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, and I could go on, and you know what? I'm going to. Brian, would you like to a quick rundown of the movies this guy's worked on?
Yeah, I know it's extensive. But
Yeah.
Go for it.
So we have the H-Man, Varan, Mothra, King Kong vs. Godzilla, Gorath, Matango, Mothra vs. Godzilla, Dogora, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, Frankenstein vs. Baragon, Gamera, Return of Daimajin, Wrath of Daimajin, Kaiju Busca, Gamera vs. Gyaos, Yongari Monster from the Deep, Gamera vs. Virus, Ultraman Ace, Zone Fighter, Go Green Man, Terror of Mechagodzilla, The Mighty Peking Man, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, and Godzilla vs. Mothra, the 90s version. And then he came out of retirement for Howl from Beyond the Fog. So this guy's made a lot of suits in his time. That's the point. Yeah, the fact that the project didn't get funded immediately upon launch last year is just a little disappointing. The fact that the fandom just did not seem to care whatsoever, and I was very, very upset about it. So over the next month of episodes, which is this one and probably the next one, because it's a bi-weekly show, we're going to bug everyone listening incessantly to donate to Brush of the God. Which, you know what? Let me see what the Kickstarter is currently at right now, because I believe when I checked, it was already doing pretty well. It had already made half its money by the time I got home. It has made its money.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. Fuck yeah.
It is at $8,872 of an $8,849 goal.
But hey, still go donate.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's it's such an odd number because it was converted to yen. The initial goal was 1 million yen. So,
Mm.
yeah. And you know what? Because I have the Kickstarter up right here, I'll even sell you on some of the rewards. Um, let's see here. If you pledge 2,000 yen, which is about $18 USD, you get a thank you letter. If you pledge 3,000, you get a signed mini poster by Keizo Murase himself. If you pledge 8,000 yen, you get a 15-minute version of the film. I'm not really sure how long the final film is going to be. I want to say it's going to be a feature-length film, but I don't know. You get a 15-minute version of the movie and a documentary making of DVD. And if you pledge 15,000, you get your name in the credits, which is always nice. And the big boy, the big reward, 250,000 yen, which is about a little over $2,000. You get a replica of one of the heads of Orachi from the film. And Brian, I'm going to post this in the hello. There we go. I'm going to post this in the doc so you can see it, because I gotta say, Orachi in this film is honestly probably one of the greatest like Toku props I have ever seen. There you go. Take a look at that. Take a gander.
Oh my god.
Like, the level of detail on that is just downright incredible.
That is really sick.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, and there's a bunch
that is the most like unnecessarily incredible looking things I've ever seen. Like no one is ever like, even watching the movie, like no one is ever going to like
appreciate the level of detail.
Appreciate like the only possible time you could ever appreciate how much detail goes into this is if you look at a very high quality picture, or if you were there looking at it.
Yeah,
in person.
exactly.
There is no reason why this should have this much detail. This is ridiculous.
That's Keizo Murase for you, man. He goes above and beyond.
God, this guy is a god.
And again, the fandom didn't support this whatsoever last year.
Yeah, the only reason I might kind of understand is that last year was kind of terrible for like people.
But like even then, like I didn't see anyone talking about it in any circles.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I understand like not being able to afford it, but like at least share it, you know? Like do your part.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole thing with Kickstarters. If you can't afford it, talk about it. Make sure people know about it, and that's what we're doing. You know, I'm probably gonna donate. I'm probably gonna toss a bit of money their way. I want to see this movie happen. Obviously, it's going to, but I want to do my part to make it as best as it could be.
Should I invest $2,000 to get one of the heads?
Get the head, Brian.
Okay, it's maybe
exactly $2,213 if you were
rent for 2 months or a giant.
Apparently, two of the heads have been claimed.
Oh fuck! Oh man,
you're running out of time, Brian.
Oh man, I don't know. Maybe. I'll think about it.
You'll think about it. Okay.
I'll think about it. I'll have to work overtime.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Audience,
please do not buy one of the heads. I need more time.
Yeah, if you're gonna donate to it, don't get the Arachi head. Brian wants it.
Yeah, don't donate $2,000. donate like $19.99.
Yeah, I mean, you could just do the $133, which is getting your name in the credits. That's always
that'd be pretty nice.
Yeah, I might.
You're like an honorary producer.
Yeah, I mean, my cap for Kickstarters is usually $150. That's usually the highest I'll go.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really donate to many Kickstarters unless it's something that I really care about.
Like this?
So, yeah, like this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. And again, Murase came out of retirement for How Beyond the Fog, and you saw how that turned out. That was incredible. And he's had the idea for this film since working on The Mighty Peking Man back in 1977. So he's been workshopping this movie for a long time. So, as we said, it's already reached its goal, but that does not mean we can't keep donating and supporting this wonderful, wonderful project.
Yes.
As we've said it multiple times, support indie Toku, man. It's the best way you can support the genre, because it's aside from, Warner Brothers with the MonsterVerse, we're not really getting a whole lot of interesting Toku, Kaiju stuff, aside from Legendary and all the Ultraman stuff. That's really all we're getting for Kaiju stuff at the moment.
Yeah. Yes, definitely support it. I mean, Howl from Beyond the Fog was an incredible movie.
It was indeed.
And I mean, anything else I can get that's at least anything, like any remotely as good as that, I would be very happy.
And this may be even better. You never know.
I mean, with a suit like that, yeah.
Yeah, and again, Daisuke Sato is definitely working on it with him. Like they're all buddy now, so yeah. I guess that'll, and I'm sure this. I don't need to say this, but I'll do it anyways. We will definitely leave the link for the Kickstarter in the description as well, so everyone can.
And maybe we'll even post it on our Instagram.
We probably will.
That's been doing surprisingly well.
It actually has been doing pretty well. I'm pleasantly surprised. Yeah. I'm very proud of our little Instagram page. It's
probably our most famous page at this point.
It is, because not like I touched the other two.
Instagram is more hip.
It is, hipper. And it's a little more accessible too, I think.
It's more hip, and then you got Facebook, which is for old people, and then you got Twitter, which is for like super toxic people.
Yeah, and we don't want to be toxic.
No, we don't want to be toxic.
We're lovers, not fighters.
Sure. Or
one last piece of news that happened as we were recording the episode. This is now being recorded a couple days after the fact. Peggy Neal, who starred in The X from Outer Space and the upcoming Great Buddha Arrival, which we've covered on the show before, she unfortunately passed away the night before we recorded this episode. The news broke, like I said, as we were recording, so I wanted to make this little interjection to let people know. That way we wouldn't be behind on news for the next episode. Brian and I met her at G-Fest in 2019. She was a very sweet woman, and we are obviously, Brian's not here because he's probably at work at the time, but I'm sure he would agree with me when I say we've definitely lost yet another legend of tokusatsu. So just wanted to make this quick little interjection for today's episode. All right. Well, I think that about does it for the news.
Speaking of fighting.
Speaking of being toxic.
Speaking of being toxic as hell. This is my favorite block. Not really, because it makes me so sad. But actually, this originally was toxic, but then.
Well, Brian, what's the segment? You got to introduce it.
It's yeah. I thought everyone should know by now. It's you all know what comes after the news. It's the r/Godzilla block, aka the I simply do not vibe with r/Godzilla.
I was very proud of that one.
Yeah, that's actually better than the other
I simply
one.
Do not vibe.
Yeah,
it's based on that meme of that comic with the giraffe. Its head explodes and it goes, "I simply do not vibe with this universe."
Yeah, no, I agree. I do not vibe with r/Godzilla.
Yeah,
but I was responsible for finding the post.
You were,
and like 5 hours after Dave told me that all we need is an r/Godzilla post, I found it, and it wasn't even a post; it was a comment.
Yeah.
So it was Uh, so the post itself is nothing special. It was literally just like it was like a picture of I think it was
It's
yeah,
it's a screenshot from 2009 Mechagodzilla's upcoming fan film, Godzilla Bonds of Blood. It was Mechagodzilla and Titanosaurus.
yeah, and it looks pretty cool. Like yeah, it looks neat.
Mm.
And then there was a comment, the first comment saying what a Godzilla anime should be. I don't like that comment.
Yeah, it's
but
that
whatever.
already is not great.
It's an opinion, sure. But the reply to said comment
Oh boy.
was I honestly wish I had screenshotted it, but I assumed it would still be there by the time of recording.
Yeah.
But it is
That is not the
spoiler.
case.
It's not. Basically, the TLDR, the comment was making fun of Godzilla Singular Point and how it had too much pseudoscience and not enough monster action, which, if you've seen the show, is not true.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of monster action, and yes, there's a bunch of science in it, but it's not as like oppressive as a lot of people say it is.
Yeah, it's also not
You can-
like exactly pseudoscience because like they had like the head writer is a physicist. So like
it's
a lot of
not
that stuff is
pseudoscience,
probably
it's-
based in reality.
A lot of it is theoretical science, which is not the same thing as pseudoscience. Anyways, it's not true. And then the comment also claims that the only reason people liked Godzilla Singular Point was because Anime Girl, I guess. Sure. Just throw out everyone's well put together opinions on why they think the show is good and just say, oh, it's because there's an Anime Girl.
Here's the thing. Female characters like exist in media. I don't know if anyone was aware of that, but like that is a thing.
I mean, yeah, this guy seems to, or girl, whoever posted this terrible comment, seems to forget that like in anime, like it's even though I don't really like a lot of anime, but like anime, there's like guys and girls like at the same time, like they're in the same world, like real life,
like real life. I mean, Brian, this guy's a Redditor. Come on.
Yeah, you know, he probably doesn't think women are real. You're right. Anyways, so yeah, that was the comment. It was like super toxic, and it was exhausting. I sent it to Dave. He said, "Brian, I'm so tired."
I did say that. Those were my exact words.
And yeah, so it was just like, all right, I found it. We're just gonna clown on this guy. But
yeah, someone beat us to it.
I went to go get the link because I realized I forgot to put it in the doc.
Yeah.
And I found that the comment got removed by the mods, which is a site seldom seen on r/Godzilla and Reddit in general.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my god, I can't believe it. And also, you're right. Someone did beat us to clowning on the guy.
Yeah, they posted the video of Walter White crying from the final season of Breaking Bad, and the link was the text was Godzilla fans when they aren't spoon-fed action scenes every 5 minutes and actually have to think about the plot for once.
Yup, and I just was like fucking laughing so hard, and then someone, and then that person. Which I'm sad I didn't catch it. They actually responded, but then that.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that. I really wish I would have known.
Yeah, and then the comment in reply to that comment that was removed, it said that sums up the entire fan base when the MonsterVerse came into existence.
That is very, very true, honestly.
So, man, I was ready to be like, wow, this is like really annoying that we keep having to deal with these people who just like write off like pretty good shows because you know what, because they're too, I don't know, they just don't care, I guess. I don't know. But you know what, I'm happy that I think I like texted you or Discorded you, and I was just like, oh my god, toxic comments actually being punished?
Yeah.
What? Wow. Yeah. So it was pretty surprising. I'd say that's pretty uplifting. So this is actually I do vibe with
we do vibe with r/Godzilla for once.
Yeah.
How about that?
Whoever that mod was, good job.
Yeah.
You did it. You did it. I know that you go on to moderate like, once every 3.5 months, but you did it this time. Good job. And then also I said, because I had to, I said, can we please shut down r/Godzilla for like a month, just like how r/Halo shut down? I'm so tired of this shit. Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, I really like Halo, and r/Halo got shut down because everyone's being super toxic and like sending death threats, and like this one was crazy, and I actually saw this post. Someone compared the state of Halo Infinite's multiplayer to the Holocaust.
What the fuck?
And I don't. It did not sound ironic.
Okay, I don't like.
But yeah.
that, but all right.
Gamers, man, gamers. Yeah. Okay. Let's just shut down Reddit.
You know what? I like that idea. That's a good call.
It's like in Hot Fuzz, for the greater good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the r/Godzilla block right there.
It sure is.
We vibe with it sometimes, but most of the time we don't.
Yeah, that could sum up all of Reddit, but
Yep. Yeah. Except for any subreddits that have to do with like animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've probably talked about this to you, but have you visited r/people fucking dying?
Yes.
That's one of my favorites.
I love that one. There are some that are good, and it's always ones like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or ones that are like purely focused on positivity.
Yeah, that's always good.
But then anything else, even if it's like based on just a topic that is completely neutral, it always tends to get toxic.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because that's just people. All right. Well, I think we should probably move on to our main topic here. Because your boy has to go grocery shopping soon.
Yeah, I know.
So,
but yeah, no, we can definitely do that. We can definitely move on to our next topic. So, as we said at the beginning of the episode, we're going to be talking about the future of kaiju media in the West. So, where do you want to start with this, bro? Like, how do you want to kick this off?
See, I was kind of thinking about it, and I was gonna say about like all the things that like is, I guess not for me when it comes to kaiju media in the West. But then I kind of thought like maybe we should be more constructive.
Mm-hmm.
At least I want to be more constructive, and I think historically, when it comes to kaiju media, the West isn't really that into it. The mainstream isn't. Like the biggest hits have really been like anything King Kong,
Mm-hmm.
and then recently recently the adaptations of like Godzilla, King Kong, like Pacific Rim have got, that's big. But before that, not really. I just I don't think it's, and because it hasn't it hasn't really reached. I still don't think it's reached mass market appeal. I still don't.
Godzilla's kind of getting there, but that's mostly on Toho, like really pushing Godzilla as like a marketable character.
Yeah, I just think that it's like the attitude in the West towards these kinds of movies. I think that's probably the biggest thing that's kind of gonna keep it on the underground, and I'm putting underground in big air quotes.
Yeah.
Like they've still here in the West, Dave and I are proof of this. There's huge fans of this shit, like huge fans all over the place. We know many of them.
Mm-hmm.
But like it still isn't like mass market like your Star Wars and other shit. Like it's just I don't think it's ever going to be that big.
I don't think so
here.
either. I mean, we kind of had that like back in like the 50s and 60s with like kind of cheesy schlocky B movies like something like Them or the Giant Gila Monster, stuff like that. But even then they were only ever like looked at as kind of goofy popcorn movies.
It's schlock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
I think that it's still, these kinds of movies still have that like people still have that opinion of them.
yeah, and it's, movies like King of the Monsters and Godzilla versus Kong are still kind of perpetuating that. But they are, I appreciate them kind of trying to make an effort in some ways to like make it not really to be taken seriously, like 100% seriously, though that was kind of the case with Godzilla 2014. But yeah, it's I don't think the West really, either fans or the filmmakers themselves, I don't think they really, and I don't want to sound like I'm gatekeeping here, I don't think they really get it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing though, like when it comes to Japan, these films, Godzilla and among other kaiju media, that's been like ingrained in their society. Like that's been, that's a large portion of their media backlog.
Yeah.
And so it's just naturally huge there. And of course you have these movies get releases in North America, but because it wasn't so I guess I don't really know what the proper word would be, but like you had people people in Japan watching this stuff as kids and then growing up with it and then introducing it to their children. You don't really have that here. Not really. You have it with like Star Wars and stuff like that, other big movie franchises, but that in Japan, that's like this kind of stuff is what Star Wars is for us here, I guess.
Yeah,
I
like
don't
Star
like
Wars and like Marvel and stuff like that.
Yeah, like it just isn't like it isn't it's just not something that people really like consider to be in that ballpark. And like for like you and I, Dave, like that's not the case. If I ever have kids, I'm showing them fucking Godzilla.
No, absolutely.
Sure. Like, for sure. And like I'm sure that's probably the case with you too. But like generally speaking, that is not common here.
No, not at all.
And I think that, it because it has endured in its popularity in Japan, its meaning has not been lost, and the nuances of the topics in said films and media haven't gone away. Here, it was never that popular, so the deeper meaning of this stuff never really stayed in the public mind. And also the topics, because they were, they're from a different culture, they're generally not as relevant here. It is what it is. You look at the original Godzilla movie and it's about nuclear annihilation. It obviously doesn't, it doesn't hit Americans as hard as it would Japanese people.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why, of course. And we've talked about this extensively.
Yeah.
And again, it's not a knock on, Western viewers. I mean, we are both Western viewers. But we're not going to sit here and pretend like we're hit the same, like with the same amount of weight as a Japanese viewer would be. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I just know that the West is just not like, North America, Europe, whatever. It's just not as prevalent. And it will, I don't think it ever will be.
Yeah. And I mean, it I will say, like, it seemed like we were almost kind of getting our own kaiju boom, because like we had over a couple years, we had Pacific Rim, then we had Godzilla, and then we had more on the indie side, we had Colossal, and then
Yep.
I'm looking at a list on Wikipedia, and their definition of giant monster movies is a little loose, to be if I'm being honest. I mean,
Yeah.
Let me run down the giant monster movies that were released in 2021. There's 4 of them. Do you want to try and name them, Brian?
Dude, I don't know.
All right, so Godzilla versus Kong. Okay,
Yep.
that's the obvious one.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Dune.
Okay.
Okay, I guess. Sure.
It's got a giant monster in it.
Yeah. Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Oh god. What? Because of the one scene with King Kong in it?
Yes, that is literally the reason.
Okay.
And then the Suicide Squad.
I can kind of see that.
I mean, they say Starro is a kaiju, but I would not. A film that features a kaiju does not a kaiju film make. That's my.
Definitely makes more sense than Space Jam.
Yeah, I would say. I think Suicide Squad is more of a kaiju movie than fucking Space Jam. I would agree on that.
Yeah.
But like, looking at this list, I am seeing like, actually, we kind of, the West has actually kind of gotten at least one giant monster film every year for a while now. Let me double check this. One second. I'm going to go back to 2013, Pacific Rim. Okay. Ish, I guess. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, we've actually gotten at least one kaiju film a year since Pacific Rim came out. So we got I'll run it down for you. So we got Pacific Rim in 2013.
Yep.
Godzilla in 2014. This one's a little more stretching it, but Jurassic World in 2015.
Sure.
Colossal in 2016, which is technically a Canadian film, but that's still the West, so I'm counting
North
it.
America. It's North America.
2017, we got Kong Skull Island.
Okay. Yeah.
2018, we got both Rampage and Pacific Rim Uprising. And the Cloverfield Paradox, if you want to count that, but it's not really a kaiju movie into the last 3 seconds, so I'm not going to count it. Also, the movie fucking sucks, but so does Pacific Rim Uprising.
Yeah. Oh boy.
2019 had Godzilla King of the Monsters. 2020 had Underwater and Love and Monsters, which I have not seen yet, but I've heard is very, very good. And then 2021 had Godzilla vs. Kong. So, seeing this now, I'm kind of like thinking that the kaiju stuff is almost becoming kind of like a sleeper hit kind of thing. Like we're still getting content every year. It's just like kind of quietly going under the radar,
I also think it has to do with quality.
Yeah, true.
Because like a lot of the movies that you mentioned.
Oh, I'm sorry. We got 3 in 2020 because I forgot to mention Monster Hunter.
Oh yeah. Yeah, speaking of quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, again, it kind of comes back to the schlock argument.
Yeah.
Like, if depending on the ratio of good to bad movies, it's gonna be seen as schlock.
Yes, absolutely.
Giant monster movies are like everyone knows it's their, that's a genre. Like, a lot of people don't know what it's called, but they know it's a genre. And if the majority of them are mediocre to not good, people are gonna think that most of that genre is just bad.
Yeah, and like I'll be the first to admit it. Like I enjoyed. We both enjoyed Rampage. We have an episode on it, but like objectively, it's not like the best movie of all time.
Rampage is actually a movie where schlock is a compliment.
Yes, I agree. Like
if it tried to be more than it was, it would have been a disaster.
Yeah, and I respect it. I respect the hell out of it for that. But like, that's not really. It's not really indicative of what the kaiju genre is really capable of, and I think that had Dwayne Johnson in it, so I'm sure that made a shitload of money. Let me double check. It made $428 million. That's a lot of
Yeah.
money.
He's really good at getting people's butts in the seats.
Yeah. And
You
that
got mine in one.
I mean, Godzilla versus Kong made slightly more than that, but still, like that's still a decent amount of money, which means a lot of people saw it, and they're like, "Oh, this is kind of dumb. Kaiju movies are stupid." Which I understand that line of thinking, but it's not really indicative of what the genre is,
Mm-hmm. So, I actually wanted to talk about Colossal a little bit. Because I said earlier that I wanted to be constructive.
Yes.
And I think that the West has a really bad habit of making movies in general, and I think this is a big Hollywood problem. Movies with almost nothing to think about. Very much just roller coaster rides. You go and then you watch it and then you leave. And that's not true all the time, of course. But it's definitely something that happens often.
Before you go on, I just want to interject something real quick. Because this is related to Colossal. That's why I'm bringing this up.
Okay.
Over Thanksgiving, some of my extended family came over, and I was with my cousin. We were just browsing through Hulu trying to find something to maybe watch, and we came across Colossal, and I was telling him, like, "Oh man, Colossal's the best." And for whatever reason, on the picture for Colossal, the title was in Spanish.
Oh my God.
And what the weirdest thing is?
What?
The Spanish title for Colossal spoils the movie.
No.
The Spanish title, I don't know exactly what it was, but it translates to "She is a monster."
Okay.
I mean, granted, you find that out relatively early in the film, but it made me laugh that the Spanish title just spoils that surprise.
I mean, it's also in the trailer.
It is in the trailer, but I think it's more effective if you go in blind to that movie.
True. Yeah.
But it was just really funny to me that was just right there.
That is pretty funny. Someone should contact Hulu about that.
I probably will. Anyways, continue. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. So so like Hollywood, I think Hollywood has a bad problem of making movies basically just substanceless. Substanceless. That's a word. It's not the rule, but it happens a lot, and it's kind of boring. And like I don't know if this is true for you, Dave, but like recently, I haven't really been watching any movies at all, but the movies that I have been watching have been foreign. Specifically like Korean cinema has taken off like ridiculous amounts.
Korean cinema has always been
it's always been, but it has
good.
reached like
we probably have Bong Joon-ho to thank for that, honestly. With Parasite winning Best Picture, like we probably have him to thank for that.
Yeah, I linked a video to you that you should watch a couple days or a little while ago. Maybe I didn't send it to you.
I don't remember you sending me anything, so
I'll send it to you later.
Okay.
But anyways, going back to Colossal, what I wanted to talk about was that like the best. This is gonna go without saying, and we all know it, but the best kaiju movies have meaning behind them.
Yes.
Monsters are not literal; they are a metaphor for something. And I think that even though we don't share the same like cultural trauma that is, ingrained in Japanese society, like here in the West, we have our own problems that we can focus into topics for movies and then create monsters that embody them. And with Colossal, you get that. You get it. It's, it's not one-to-one, but maybe it is. It depends on your, what meaning you derive from the movie, which is great. But that movie deals with very personal issues with abuse and emotional trauma, you know, substance abuse, I guess. And, you know, that is, you know, that's not purely a Western issue, but it's definitely problems here, especially abuse. Um, but you can take topics like that and you can put them into movies here. And that's stuff I want to see. I want to see more stuff like Colossal. It's not a big, dumb monster movie that has nothing to think about. I think that if more energy was put towards movies like that, it could, in my eyes, maybe bring the genre to more of a, you know, into more of a limelight and get more people interested. Because if you give people stuff to think about, then they're gonna want more and they're gonna be more interested in it. And that's just my idea. And that's why I think that, you know, Colossal is a shining example of what North American monster movies can be. You know, it's not just about giant monsters, it's about people. And honestly, the monsters aren't even in it that much, and they are largely inconsequential. It's really about the people. That's just my opinion. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Dave?
I mean, I agree with you, obviously, but like, I don't know. The thing is, like, I feel like, especially with how well Godzilla versus Kong did, and you know what everyone liked about Godzilla versus Kong, I just don't think people would like would have the intended reaction to something like that we want. You know, I think
Yeah.
I just don't think people would be able to look past the fact that, hey, this is a giant monster movie. Why are there no giant monsters punching each other? I want more of that. You know, I mean, look at the reaction to fans. We just mentioned it earlier on the episode. Look at the reaction that Singular Point got. You know, that's not the kind, and that's not even a Western. That's an official. That's like Japanese kaiju stuff. That's where it's coming from. You know, I just don't think people. I don't want to say people aren't ready for it, because like that's like a very subjective thing to say.
I don't think it would hit mass market.
Yeah,
definitely not.
It just I don't think people are like ready to give it the chance it deserves, I guess. What I'm trying to get at.
Let me rephrase. I'm not saying that every kaiju movie that's released here should be Colossal or anything like it. I'm saying that what I think we need, for diversity's sake, diversifying, you know, the genre and roping in more people and changing the perception of the genre here, is we need a healthy mix of both big dumb action and also thought-provoking. I think if you can have movies that come out, you know, maybe not rapid fire, definitely not rapid fire with the speed that movies are made.
Yeah.
But like, I think that if you have a mix, sure, to one or the other, if you have both of these types of movies coming out, you know, there's going to be people being like, why is this so stupid? And why is there not more monster action? Whatever. There's going to be that regardless. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean,
with the introduction of the Monsterverse, you have people going back to the original movie, or the original, going to Singular Point, I guess I want to say, or going to Shin Godzilla and be like, oh, there's not enough, there's not enough monster, like, which is ridiculous. It's just gonna happen at this point. It's just gonna. So fearing for it in a hypothetical situation where we get more thought-provoking movies is a little bit, I don't know. Yeah, all right. That's my that was what I was saying. I think we definitely need like a mix of some sort. I think you're right that people aren't going to be immediately jazzed about it, but I think if we ever want to turn around perception,
we need to like ease people into it. Like, they need to actually know that, hey, this is what this genre was all about from the start, you know? And I just don't think it's going to happen with I don't think it's going to happen with
Japanese releases because
Yeah.
the messages in those movies, or at least the original messaging, it just doesn't it doesn't impact people here the same way.
I
And
think what we need to do is we need to get a different kaiju film into like the mainstream. Like, people know about the original Godzilla. Everyone at this point, everyone knows about the original Godzilla and what it was about.
Yep.
But I think we need to move on to a different kaiju film that people need to know about. And one that I always find myself coming back to as like one of the best hands down is the original Mothra. Because every time I watch the original Mothra, I am floored by just how fantastic it is. And the thing about the original Mothra is that it's still very, very relevant today, because the original Mothra is super, super anti-capitalist, and that's the kind of shit we need to see today, man.
I am very much against capitalism, so yeah.
As everyone
More
should
of
be.
that. Yep.
But yeah, I think we need to move on from the original Godzilla as like the be all end all for like, oh, serious kaiju movies. And like Mothra is like it's got that perfect balance. It's got the got the themes, and it's got the kind of goofy fun stuff. And that's why that movie works so well for me, because it's a lot like Evil Dead 2, how it balances the horror and it balances the comedy so well. Mothra balances the themes and the goofiness really well. And that's why I always try to show people the original Mothra any chance I get, because it works so well as like a parallel to the original Godzilla, as something to be taken seriously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree with you for sure. I think honestly, I think having one movie be the be all end all of serious monster movies is not a healthy thing.
Yeah, especially for an entire genre's worth, you know.
Yeah, not even a series, a genre.
You know, I'm not gonna. You wouldn't tell someone who wants to get into the fantasy genre, like, oh, watch the first Harry Potter movie, you'll get it. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. That is not how getting someone into a genre of film works.
No, I think, and also like I don't think that, I think serious films are great, but I don't think that every movie needs to be serious, but I do think it needs to have substance. Substance does not equal seriousness.
Yeah.
So, and Godzilla is a very serious movie.
It is.
Very
And the more I think about this, like I think I think we've talked about this on the show before on some episode. I don't even know. I mean, this is episode 19. I've already lost track of what we've talked about and when.
Make a spreadsheet for that one.
Okay, I'll leave that up to you. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I mean, I think a big part of the reason that people that kaiju media has this kind of stigma as being not anything to be taken seriously is because of how those films were released in the West way back when. And this was actually a topic I kind of wanted to talk about. This was a working, it was a potential topic for this episode, but it ended up not making the cut. I wanted to talk about like dubs, because that's how these movies were released way back when in the States. They were dubbed. They were sent over to the States, and they were dubbed by a different studio. And a lot of the times, those dubs, they didn't really carry over how serious some of the movies could be. Like, Godzilla vs. Megalon is inherently a goofy movie, but it does have some serious topics, and I don't think that really carried over when the film got dubbed. And something like Godzilla vs. Gigan too. That movie is all about it's all about peace and shit like that. But the fact that the dub is kind of like inherently goofy, which is not a bad thing because I love the dub for Godzilla versus Gigan. I think people just don't get that's what these movies were supposed to be about, you know?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think dubs, while dubs are fun sometimes, they definitely don't really do any favors to introducing people to these movies. I don't think. I don't know. There was one thing I wanted to say and I completely forgot. Oh no, my brain.
Okay. How could you, Brian?
I don't know. I do remember talking about how much I really did not like the Godzilla King of the Monsters, the edit of the original.
Yeah, we talked about that
For this specific reason. I think that
I don't remember when we talked about that. But
I don't remember. I don't remember. Oh, I think it might have been on the best movies to introduce people to the genre.
Maybe I don't know.
Which was forever ago. I was in the last place I was staying at. That was several months ago. Yeah. 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 Kind of lost on the combo now. There was one thing I wanted to say. Kind of didn't have to do with the dub thing though.
That's okay. We've been it's nothing new that we lose our train of thought on this show. It's
even
it's kind of become a running theme.
No matter how scripted it is, it always ends up getting incredibly cursed in here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I guess I just wanted to be like, I wanted to lay my thoughts out, and everyone, we all know my thoughts on this, but I just think that like the more movies that we get that are like Godzilla King of the Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong, I just think that the problem will get worse.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna eventually
agree.
turn. I just think it's eventually gonna turn into like Transformers, and then it'll
and
be
that's
all.
not
It'll
that's
be
really
all
not
over.
what we want. Unless somewhere down the line we get something in the vein of Bumblebee, and then we'll be golden. That's exactly what I would want from a kaiju movie, honestly.
Sure. I just think that like, I really enjoyed Godzilla 2014, and I really enjoyed the, I guess, early years of the kaiju boom because they had more to offer. Like
they definitely had more
Pacific
variety.
Rim,
Yeah.
Pacific Rim was like a love letter to the genre by one of the most talented directors to ever live.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Godzilla 2014 was, I would say it's a pretty bog standard Godzilla movie, but it definitely had more going on than the other MonsterVerse movies, in my opinion.
I think I disagree with that because like now that I think about it, I think Kong Skull Island like really does a lot to balance to what we were talking about earlier, to balance out the fun and the themes really well. Like it's very clearly an anti-war film. And,
I was gonna mention that. I should have said except for Kong Skull Island because that's kind of what I meant. I think Kong Skull Island is still my favorite MonsterVerse movie.
I agree, but I think people still like. I don't think they really got that either. Like I think they can tell it's an anti-war film because it's taken place during the Vietnam War. How could it not be an anti-war film? But like,
yeah.
I don't think they really get that like that's kind of an intrinsic part of the genre is like that level of thematic resonance, I guess. That's not the word I'm looking for probably, but you know what I mean.
I guess probably the easiest tell is like when you see, and here's I think one thing that like has really been bothering me about the MonsterVerse movies, and we mentioned it on the last podcast, last episode, where it's like you just have cities just being annihilated just like in a second, and it's not played for anything. It's just set dressing.
Yeah.
But like, it's supposed to be like you're supposed to be like, oh, that's bad, you know, like that's a city where a lot of people live. Like that's not good.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be played for. It shouldn't be played for just like giant
Spectacle.
monster
Yeah.
fodder. It's not appropriate. At least I don't think it's appropriate. And you know, again, I do think it has to do with balance. Like I would be way more willing to forgive a movie where you have cities being destroyed in 2 seconds if it was balanced out by other movies that come out that actually
Yeah.
pay respect to places being destroyed and show the fallout and why it's bad. You know? I
Yeah.
think that would be okay.
I meant to bring this up on the last episode. I totally forgot to do it. I will say I almost respect King of the Monsters more than Godzilla vs. Kong, because at least King of the Monsters tried to do something thematic. Yeah, it kind of tripped and fell on its face in the process, but at least it made it, you know, that movie made the effort to do something. Whereas Godzilla vs. Kong was just all spectacle and no substance.
Godzilla vs. Kong is basically a fantasy movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is about a giant ape's quest to find a magic axe to kill a giant lizard.
Yeah, you know, yeah. You could put any fantasy hero in. It's just Beowulf. Kong is
And
Beowulf.
also like if we're talking about being completely like you know or being I guess purposefully, because it's not like the film really tried to pay much attention to it, but like the absolute needless destruction of Hong Kong, like they destroyed Hong Kong in like 5 seconds.
Hey, it wasn't as bad as Boston.
No, it wasn't as bad as Boston, but like you had, and it was cool because I love Mechagodzilla just destroying the skyline in like 5 seconds. But like also, come on, like people fucking live there.
Yeah.
Like you can't be at least a little bit respectful. Like I don't know, it's just a thought. I don't know. And again, I want to be perfectly clear that these movies that, you know, where they show like huge destruction on a huge scale, they're not bad. But when they're the only thing that we get, it just is a little bit tone deaf because there's nothing to balance it. There's nothing to be like, hey, this is, you know, there are real people that are affected by this, even if it's fictional.
I feel like this devolved
with
into like the same conversation we have every time we talk about the MonsterVerse.
It did, but like this is also a problem that we get with like media here in general. Like whether it's whether it's kaiju media or basically fucking anything. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I said this to you, but like the thing that's so tiring about it, and specifically like action, disaster, like everything has to be so mega all the time because it's just like the studio needs to be sure that people are going to be like as into it as possible. And it's just exhausting. It's just exhausting. Everything has to be so over the top and crazy, and nothing is subtle or anything anymore, except for these like smaller budget productions, indie movies, and some very rarely greenlit movies that we get.
Yeah.
It just all becomes very tiring, and then that bleeds over into kaiju media, you know, in a genre that is already very much crippled by its perception here.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of just my point on all this. Like it's just it gets to be very exhausting because it's never paid the respect that it is, you know, deserves. I'd say. Which
is why we're gonna take it upon ourselves to force everyone to watch the original Mothra, Colossal, and for shits and giggles, Godzilla Final Wars.
Yep. I love that movie.
I know. I would love to do an episode on it sometime.
You know what, though? That movie actually did a way better job of making me feel bad about random people getting killed than any of the MonsterVerse movies.
It did, actually.
Because there are shots of people getting fucking annihilated.
There are.
And, like, cities just completely gone. And the end of the movie is also a little bit somber because they're all standing in a completely unrecognizable Tokyo.
Yeah, I mean, everyone it's kind of implied that they're like the last survivors of humanity in that film.
Yeah. So it's like super somber after this crazy, just batshit movie.
Yeah.
See, it proves that you can have a crazy batshit movie and also still portray that kind of messaging.
Right. All right. So Brian,
Oh,
we're about we've been talking about this for about 45 minutes now. I want to kind of shift gears just a little bit.
Okay.
I would love to know like what you personally like if you were to pitch a movie, a kaiju movie in this day and age, what would it be?
I don't really know. I'm not really like an ideas guy.
Okay.
So I don't really have like any good ideas because like I don't know, I'm just not an ideas guy. I think that like anything portraying climate change is bad is probably a good idea, but I'm sure that that's a way overdone idea at this point. If you think about it, Godzilla 2014 was kind of about that a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah.
I don't know though. If anything, I would just like to see. I would actually like to see like a lighthearted kaiju movie.
You know, that's the thing. Here, I had the idea, so I'm going to kind of stay in the MonsterVerse for this, because, and I'm going to kind of draw on things that may actually be coming, because a couple months ago, I don't know if it was confirmed, but I remember Adam Wingard talking about the potential Son of Kong film. And so the thing I would like to see, I think I would love to see Gia return, the little girl character from Godzilla vs. Kong. I would love to see her. Maybe I don't know how they would write the Son of Kong into the universe, but I would love to see, maybe because that he's like a younger character, you know, maybe he'll have more of a connection with Gia than Daddy Kong does. Because
maybe it could be a role reversal where you have a grown-up Gia be friends with.
Oh, that could be
young
interesting. But the thing what I was thinking about, it was like, you know, because he's young, maybe he doesn't really, you know, he's still kind of more animalistic in nature, and maybe Gia has to kind of teach him how to, you know, be a decent dude to humans and stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how. I'm literally just spitballing this. I have no idea how it would work, but I would love to see something like that. I mean, bottom line, I just want to see Gia come back because I love her. She was adorable. She was the best part of the movie.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that something like that could really work. And you know, it doesn't. Yeah, you could make the argument that that idea is just a little kid friendly, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. I mean, we talked about it earlier on the show. We're literally getting an animated kaiju film that is about professional wrestling.
Yeah,
you know, there's nothing wrong at this point. Everything's off the table. Nothing's off the table, rather.
I would be down for anything at this point, as long as it's just fun and cool and not boring
and not all spectacle.
Yeah, I would honestly be really down for like maybe just like a slice of life movie with this kind of shit. Like nothing
absolutely.
Like nothing world ending. Like we don't always need the world to be in danger. Because having the world constantly be in danger it lessens the stakes the more that it happens.
Absolutely.
They're like, oh, it's the world again. Oh no. Oh, all that radiation. Yeah. So I'd be down for a movie like that, just something that's like more transformative instead of derivative.
Yeah.
You know, like we don't really get any slice of life kaiju media.
No, we really don't. Ultraman's kind of like that in some episodes. I mean, obviously.
I mean, a movie.
No, not a movie.
Really
not a movie, no.
Yeah. I think that, like, if anything, a Son of Kong movie would probably work the best
Yeah.
in that because like King Kong, and I assume the son of Kong is probably some of the most human-like kaiju there are in, well, they're definitely
Absolutely,
in
yeah.
in the MonsterVerse. But like, you can easily adapt that to just like a slice of life movie where it's just like teaching Kong to be cool or more human, even though he's not, or just stuff like that.
Teach Kong how to sign racial slurs.
Sure, yes, let's do that. Absolutely. Throw him on the r/Halo subreddit.
Teaching Kong how to be a gamer.
Yep. Yeah. Give that man a controller. Yeah. No, I would absolutely be down with that idea. Again, I'm not really an ideas guy,
Yeah.
but yeah, I like that idea actually. And I hope that we get something like that instead of just another all spectacle movie where Son of Kong has to learn how to beat the shit out of another monster.
Yeah, and I would also like to see some more of something like Underwater, which was a very character driven movie,
Yeah.
very character driven horror movie up until the last act, where it became a kaiju film. And
I mean, that movie already had bonus points with me because
it did, because you're a fucking nerd.
love Lovecraftian horror, and
Yeah.
it literally
Oh my
has
fucking
Cthulhu at
god!
the end of the
I
movie.
gotta find this post I saw the other day about cosmic horror and send it to you because it was the funniest fucking thing I've ever read.
Listen, I get it. Lovecraft was racist.
It was not even that.
He is so racist. I know.
Hey Brian, what was Lovecraft's cat's name?
I'm not saying. If you listeners want to know, just go look it up. I'm not gonna say it for you.
Oh, I think I found
It
it.
just
Oh no,
it just
that link
reminds
was dead.
me. It reminds me of there's a really good review of Bloodborne by this YouTuber named Super Bunny Hop, and one of the funniest lines in any of his videos is him saying, Lovecraft was horribly racist. Bloodborne has horrible frame drops. We can't all be perfect.
Oh, I'm trying to find this cosmic horror post. It was so fucking funny. Oh, what was it?
It better be funny, Dave, or else I'm going to be really
what was the
disappointed.
example they used? Oh, it's driving me insane. I can't remember.
This is so sad. You promised me funny.
I did. I did. I mean, it might be buried in my Twitter likes, so I'll try to find it later. But
Okay.
basically, it was like, oh yeah, cosmic horror is about like something that is so unknowable that your mind can't comprehend it, and this person used like the dumbest fucking example, but it was actually kind of odd, like really accurate, and it was really funny.
What was it?
That's the thing, I can't remember what the example was.
Oh, god damn it. Now I want to know.
I know, I'm so sorry.
What's so unknowable that I can't comprehend it, Dave?
I'm gonna try. I'm really gonna try to find it.
Well, we should continue on with this episode instead of sitting here. Because
I don't know, but I found another post that was Lovecraft, famous for 1, naming his cat the N-word, 2, writing 20 books where it said the monster was so scary I couldn't tell you how scary it was. It was just that scary, dude. It was like so scary. I guess you should have been there, man. You missed out.
Yeah. That's basically it. Yeah. I've seen that meme before, and I agree. It's so scary, dude.
Good. That's pretty good.
Well, the thing that disappoints me the most about Underwater, it was basically just like in limbo for a while. Like it was done, but
that's right. I forgot about that.
I think it was done in like 2017, and they took them 3 years. Took them 3 years to release it, which is a shame because like it's not a fantastic movie, but it's pretty competent, pretty good, except for the fucking anime joke in it. That was eye rolling.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, what's his face? It was like, hey, you watch anime?
I don't remember that.
Well, you'll have to rewatch it again.
Well,
So you can
I have no problem with that.
so you can catch the anime joke. Yeah, no, I like that movie. I was gonna say it really doesn't count as a kaiju movie because it's only like the last 5 minutes, but I guess you're kind of right.
Brian, I think I found it.
Found it.
I found it.
Oh
I
god.
found it.
This is why our podcast episodes always run so long.
That's okay. It's funny. All right, so
Yeah.
this is a conversation with someone, and they were talking to their mom. Yeah, so basically, a cosmic horror is the fear of a godlike being or entity so much bigger than yourself and your perception of the universe that your brain can't possibly comprehend it, often leading to some sort of madness in the story because of this break in your perception of reality because this entity is so incomprehensible to your limited worldview. The concept is credited to H.P. Lovecraft because of stuff like Cthulhu, but the guy was also a massive... My mom interjecting, so like Horton hears a who, I get it.
What the fuck? Okay.
Is it
Okay.
incorrect, Brian?
No. No, it's not.
And you know what the best part is? This isn't part of the post. This post I found, but this was the one I saw earlier. The Lego Movie also counts as a cosmic horror in this instance.
Does it?
Yeah, because I don't know if you remember when they go into the real world, everything's like so fuzzy and they can't comprehend it. It just looks weird to them.
Oh my god, you're right.
The Lego Movie is a cosmic horror, Brian.
Can we petition to get that added as like a tag for the movie wherever it's listed? for
Cosmic
watching?
horror, like on all the Steam reviews and shit.
Yeah.
I'd
Like
be
if you
down.
like if you go on like Amazon and you're just like, I want to rent the Lego movie. It says cosmic horror.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh my god.
All right, I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about.
I don't know either. We kind of derailed.
Yeah.
It became cursed again.
I don't know. I mean, I think we've kind of covered all our bases. I don't know what else we could say without just endlessly repeating ourselves at this point.
Yeah. Well, when we make it to the what did Lovecraft name his cat? then
Yeah, we
I think
did.
I think we finished.
Yeah. That's a good note
think it's
to leave
over.
off on.
Yeah. Honestly, you should just cut the episode right there.
I should. I should. I absolutely should.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Well,
I'm not going to.
I think we should probably move on to our last segment.
Yeah. What new cool kaiju thing have you been checking out, Brian? Have you drunk any more Godzilla coffee?
I did. I actually didn't remember if I had told
You did.
if I had talked about the other roast.
You did not.
Or not.
Not to me.
Okay, so I had both. I know that I had talked about having the Godzilla Odo Island dark roast.
Yes,
and
that
I
is
said
what you
that
talked
that
about
was
last time.
that was pretty good. That one is my favorite. If I'm gonna buy it again,
Okay.
it's gonna be that one.
Well, you
but
said
that is
you said you
the-
like dark roasts, though, right?
Yes, I'm biased. I like dark roast.
Okay, fair enough.
But then I had the medium roast, which is the King Ghidorah one, and then I had the light roast, which is the Rodan one. The medium roast is pretty good. It's definitely coffee.
It's definitely coffee.
Definitely coffee. I actually had it. This morning, and it was good. It is an enjoyable coffee. It's not as
Okay.
strong as I like.
All right.
But it's pretty good. The Rodan one, that is absolutely coffee. It's not. It's not my favorite. I'll drink it, but it's. I don't know. It's just not. It's just. I just don't like light roasts.
Okay.
Light roasts are too much like drinking hot water for me.
Okay. This is really funny how you put that. The Rodan one is absolutely coffee.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I thought when I drank it initially. I was like, yeah, and then I had another cup, and I'm just like, yep, that's right.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, if you like light roast coffee, I don't know where you people are from and why you like it. Uh, it's pretty good. Good. You'd like it. Um, but I prefer the medium and the dark roast. The dark roast specifically, I just think it's really good.
Yeah.
It's like actually a very nice coffee
All
that
right.
tastes good. Again, I just don't I do not vibe with light roasts.
That's perfectly fine. You have your own personal tastes.
Yeah. But very good. I think it was definitely worth the money for the experience alone.
Yeah.
And I may actually rebuy
Oh
the
my
Godzilla
goodness.
coffee.
Oh
I
my
may actually
goodness.
buy it again. Yeah, I'll probably only buy the Odo Island one here from here on out.
Right.
Um, but maybe I'll get the King Ghidorah one again. I don't know because that one's also pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, and maybe I'll grow an appreciation for the Rodan one. Maybe
Yeah.
because it's definitely going to be in my shelf the longest.
Probably.
Again, viewers, I have 7 bags of coffee in my house right now. 7. It's a lot of coffee. I have
It's a
more
lot of
coffee than I
coffee,
have
a lot of
edible
coffee.
food right now.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Which is
Well,
why we're
that was
wrapping the
my
show up.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
That was my Godzilla coffee review. Um, Definitely gonna buy it again. If you like coffee, give it a shot. It's pretty good, and it's actually not that expensive if you look at how much coffee is typically.
I don't even know how much coffee typically costs.
If you want to get like good coffee, it's definitely not $25, but it's
Yeah.
you know, if you want something where you can keep the bag and be like, hey, look what I got, because I'm a fucking shill, because I'm a fucking shill.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a collector's item and also edible. I mean, drinkable.
I mean, you can eat the beans, I guess.
Sure, if you're a freak,
There's nothing stopping you.
you could also probably make a pretty great alcoholic beverage out of it.
That's also true.
Just something I want to do, probably.
Yeah, I mean, Kahlua is a thing. You can
Yeah.
make something.
Oh,
I don't
you
know.
don't want to buy. You don't want to buy Kahlua. Kahlua is not that good.
Fucking, I've never had it. I don't know.
It's not that good.
Well,
Get
just
something else.
get some Baileys and pour it in your coffee. That's what I do.
Yeah, Bailey's works. You do that.
Yeah,
Or you could just be like me and just get whiskey.
that also works. You know, that's
Yeah.
that's what an Irish coffee is, right? Just
It's
Jameson,
it's
Jameson and
definitely the
coffee.
hardliners approach. No, the Irish coffee is Bailey's. And,
Oh, it's Bailey. Okay.
It's Bailey's and Jameson.
Oh, Bailey's and Jameson. I see.
Yeah, and maybe sugar. Maybe.
I mean, I feel like the Bailey's is sweet enough, honestly, but
You don't know. You don't know, man.
okay. I guess I don't know.
You don't know. All right, that's it for my review.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Coffee.
As for my thing, I didn't really do anything new recently, but I rewatched Return of Daimajin the other day.
Nice.
So, and that's, you know, I when you and I first watched those movies way back when, Return of Daimajin was my favorite. I don't think it is anymore. I think the first one's my favorite now. I think because I think it boils down to the characters in the first one are so much more memorable than they are in the second. I think the second one has better like set pieces. Like Daimajin's Awakening in the second movie is way fucking cooler. You know, rising
I
out of the
think-
water like that.
I agree. I think the setting of the second one is way cooler.
Yes,
than the
I
first
agree.
one.
I agree.
The first one is I think it's just better overall. With
Yeah.
the character work.
I agree. I definitely agree. But
It is hard to go wrong with a shrine on a little island in the middle of a lake.
yeah, especially when they blow up the shrine and then he reforms at the bottom of the lake and rises from the lake. That's just it's fucking rad.
It's very, very scenic, very nice.
Yeah,
I like it.
absolutely. I've been listening a lot to the score of the first movie too, because it's just so good. It's really funny because like for those who have not seen the Daimajin films, Akira Ifukube is the one who did the music for it, and I was listening to it in the car on my way home from work, and usually when I go home from work, I swing by the train station to pick my mom up. And I picked her up and the music was playing. She's like, "Oh, Godzilla." I'm like, "No, same composer though." Because Ifukube has such a distinct style that it's just it's immediately recognizable as, oh, this is from a giant monster movie.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I have not listened to the Daimajin soundtracks
It's good.
in a while, but I do remember the music being super awesome in the movies.
I mean, Ifukube is just a good composer in general, you know?
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I still can't believe all three of those movies came out the same year.
I know, it's fucking wild to think about.
Because it was funny, I was telling my mom about them because she was like, "Oh, that's not something I've heard of before," which, yeah. And then she was like, "What year did they come out?" And I'm just like,
1966.
"Yeah," and she's like, "All of them?" I'm like, "Yep." She's like, "Whoa." Yeah. Ugh, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. But
Alright, well,
I think
that
I
it?
think that'll do it.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm gonna tell the listeners what we're doing next week because I'm actually really, really excited for the next episode.
Oh yeah, you're gonna let them in on the little secret of what we've been
secret
definitely.
for our holiday special here on Talking Toku. We are gonna be covering visionary filmmaker Sion Sono, who I don't know what he's best known for because he's done a fuck ton of movies, but I guess maybe one of his most well known might be Tag from 2015. If you've seen that, Brian.
I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
Wait, what was it called again?
Tag. It's not the one with Jeremy Renner.
Oh, okay.
I could tell by the hesitation that's what you were thinking.
I was like, wait, hold on a minute. Wait, but Dave, there was a Tag in 2018 with Jeremy Renner.
Yeah. But
oh man. Okay.
But yeah, that might be his most well-known film. But that's not where. And he also did most recently Prisoners of the Ghostland, which is Nick Cage in a horror western thing, which I haven't seen yet, but I really want to. We are going to be covering Love and Peace by Sion Sono, which is a fucking phenomenal film, and I'm so happy to cover it because I watched it last year in like maybe July or August, and I realized like halfway through, hold on, this is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't know, maybe it was probably a month ago that I messaged you. I was like, Brian, I know what we're doing for the Christmas episode.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, what? And then you didn't tell me.
Yeah, but
For like a week.
It is like legitimately a great fucking movie, and
That's honestly how our friendship kind of comes down. You say one thing,
It
and I'm just
really-
like,
it
"Oh,
really
what?"
is.
and then it's silence for 24 hours.
yeah, I mean it is like hands down like one of the most charming films I've ever seen, and I was so. And the thing is, this movie came out in 2015, and I had not a cam rip, but like a DVD rip of the movie on my computer since 2016, and I only just watched it last year. And I was kicking myself for not watching it because it's just that good.
Damn.
So I'm really excited to cover it for the show. It's such a good movie, and for people who, if anyone needs a little bit more, incentive to watch it, the lead actor is Hiroki Hasegawa, who people would probably know as the lead in Shin Godzilla, Rando Yaguchi, the main character.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Now you
Cool.
know. Now you know
Now I
actors
know.
are in other movies,
I
Brian.
mean, how would I know? You didn't tell me what movie we were covering until like a week ago.
I know.
So
But
how would I know this?
now you know. So
Damn.
that's what
I'm
we're
excited.
we're covering Love and Peace next time. And I believe, let me check the calendar real quick. That's not what I wanted to do.
I will not be there for an in-person recording.
No, I figured as much. But no, I believe we'll be recording that on the 20th. And assuming I can get the edit out, that episode will be out on Christmas Eve.
The day that I get home.
There you go.
At midnight.
At midnight. It'll be a Christmas miracle, Brian.
Christmas miracle. Oh my God.
Yeah, because, these episodes go up on Fridays, so Christmas Eve, you get a new episode. Yeah. Santa, all you listeners, Santa, you're on his nice list, so he's giving you a new episode of Talking Toku.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but Santa's not real. We are Santa.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, hold on, Dave. This is completely off topic.
Okay.
Sorry, audience. So there was this post on, I think it was Reddit, Shiver. Do you know the movie The Empty Man?
I do not.
So it's basically this horror movie about, and the main idea is that like there is an entity and it is only made real by people believing that it is real, and therefore it manifests.
Okay, I see where you're going.
And
with
there is like this equation where it's like belief plus something else equals flesh.
Okay.
And it's the most like metal fucking thing ever. And I was just because I was listening to like someone talk about this movie, and all I could think about was Santa.
I mean, yeah, it works.
And then of course, somebody on Reddit thought the same fucking thing, and they posted a fucking thing where it was that fucking equation, and it had a picture of Santa. I'm like, oh man, hell yeah, pretty good. Empty Man, apparently a really good movie. Haven't seen it myself, but yeah.
Do I know? I'm gonna run a quick Google search. Oh, it came out last year. Yeah, I have no.
It gained a bit of a cult. It gained a bit of a cult following.
Who's in it? I don't know any of these fucking actors. What the hell? Who are these people? Stephen Root sounds vaguely familiar. Oh, he was in Get Out. I don't think that's where I recognize him from, though. What else?
Oh, here we go. Time plus thought plus concentration equals flesh.
Plus concentration. All right.
Yeah. There we go. God, that's so fucking cool.
All right. We should wrap up before we keep talking about random
your boy
shit.
needs to.
You need to go grocery shopping. You need to go acquire sustenance for yourself.
I need to go buy something besides coffee beans.
Fair enough. All right, one more time, people. We're going to be covering Scion Sono's Love and Peace next week. Not next week, but the week after, because we're a bi-weekly show. We'll go watch it if you can. It's not really available anywhere in the States, so I bought a Region B copy of it. Once again, invest in a region-free Blu-ray player. It'll open up your possibilities. Go donate to the Kickstarter for Brush of the God.
We'll be posting that one on Instagram.
Absolutely, we will. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Talking Toku and Instagram at Talking Toku Official, where we're posting some cool stuff. It's really just that latter one that we're posting anything really. Just a heads up. But yeah, I think Brian, you should post on Instagram some.
I will. I might post a picture of the coffee.
You should do that, and you should post a picture of that thing you sent me the other day that your girlfriend made for you.
Oh yeah, the thing, yeah, that thing, yeah. Of course, I'll post.
Yeah, that'd be a good post right there.
Yep, I'll post that thing. Yep.
That thing. So now, everyone, you have a reason to go follow us on Instagram just to see what that thing is that we're talking about.
Yep.
What could it be?
Who
Could it be a
knows?
custom-made kaiju-themed
Nope. Hey,
dildo?
stop it. No, you don't want to see it. Nope. You want to wait until you go look at the Instagram. You have to go look at it and follow us.
I don't think you heard
don't-
what I said, Brian.
If you don't, I'll follow
I
you.
don't think you
I'll
heard
find
what
you.
I said.
I heard it. I heard it. Let's end the show. I gotta go. I gotta go buy not coffee beans.
Okay. All right, everyone. I'm your host, David.
I'm your co-host, Brian.
We'll see you in a couple weeks, everyone. Take it easy.
Take it easy.